What do we have for Aries? Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the foundation of the reading. Aries, before the reading, I got the message. They were used by the divine to wake you up to your power and purpose. Whoever this is, whether it be friend, family member, an ex, quite possibly career-related for some of you, represented somebody that was in your life that used your light, your good energy, your support, influence, and authenticity to manifest from. Now, what I'm getting here is ever since you have disengaged from whoever these individuals are, their lives have been slowly coming apart at the seams, and seemingly your life is on a steady trajectory up. It's during this period of time, Aries, that you're really starting to realize who it was that was holding you back the entire time. For a lot of you, it was right in front of your face, but you didn't see it because I felt that you put some level of trust in whoever this is here that I'm picking up on. But as you are starting to move forward with your life, you're starting to succeed, you're having growth in different areas where quite possibly you felt stagnated in, all of a sudden you're just having movement. You're starting to have a deeper look at your life. You're starting to think about life in a way that you never have before. Well, not with this kind of depth anyway. You're starting to really recognize that the universe is indeed all energy. And with this newfound knowledge and wisdom, Aries, you are starting to move differently. You're much more discerning about the energies that you're allowing into your life because you're getting to the point, or you're going to get to the point, where you simply have too much to lose. And it's not worth entertaining anybody who's not on the same vibrational plane as you. Six of Swords represents a rite of passage, but it came with some very hard lessons. You were guided by the universe to transition away from said individuals, no matter how much pain may have come with it. For a lot of you, it came with a lot of pain, especially if it was family members, exes that you tried time and time again with to make it work, but you just couldn't align with. I also feel that as you are moving on with your life, some of these individuals you may see around social media like we all do, and there's a side of them that you're starting to see now that I feel was hidden when they were with you. I feel that this person, these people, whoever this is, were showing up in your life as a version of themselves that they thought you wanted them to be. They were merely playing a character. This is a very hard reality to accept because it's in these moments that you start to look back on your time with these individuals and none of it was real. You may even start to question the love that these individuals had for you as non-existent. Again, a hard reality to accept, but necessary because this is what is triggering your awakening. So amongst all of this, you start to understand that there was a much deeper meaning to the connection you had with these individuals. If this is family, it's you starting to understand that you're a kind of black sheep, a chain breaker, somebody that was birthed into these family lineages to break a kind of generational curse. What do we have at the sacral, please? Three of Pentacles, Capricorn energy at the sacral. Aries, you have a divine contract here. This goes along exactly with what I was just saying in regards to the Six of Swords about you understanding. You get it now. It's as if everything is beginning to crystallize in your life. You understand that there's no way you could be on this path you are on now had everything not have unfolded the way it did exactly without any changes whatsoever. There was a point in my life where I looked back on my past and some of the mistakes I made, and I used to regret that I made those mistakes. I wished I could take them back. But now, where I am in my life, I accept all my shortcomings, all of my mistakes, as a necessary ingredient to get me to where I am now, which also allows for you to take responsibility in regards to your missteps, because you begin to have a higher vantage point. You start to see things from this universal perspective over your life. This is when you can see where the intended target is, so to speak. You understand that all the noise between you and where you're trying to get to is distraction. It's the lessons that you had to learn to get you to fulfill your destiny. When you're able to look back on your past and ask for forgiveness, take responsibility, take accountability, this is also a key that allows you to access a new timeline. Now, most, if not all of the time, when you go looking for forgiveness, and when you are trying to take accountability for your actions, it's something that you have within self. It's something that you have with you, God, your spirit team, the divine. It's a kind of sit down, Three of Pentacles and the sacral. And it's in these moments that you start to begin to understand that you have a contract here. You are on a kind of divine mission. I remember when I started to seek forgiveness from the divine for my shortcomings, I was flooded with this feeling of, yeah, it's okay. You were supposed to make all those mistakes. It's all a part of the plan for you. But your recognition of that is what allows you to elevate into this new chapter of your life. This is exactly what I'm getting here for you, Aries. This energy that I'm picking up here, though it may seem insignificant because we just have a Six of Swords and a Three of Pentacles on the table, intuitively, the message here is monumental, which speaks about a deeper kind of meaning. It's not the cards, it's how you read the cards. It's during this process that you gain access to bits and pieces of your mission. This can be you receiving downloads from your Akashic records, the plan for you. They just come out of nowhere. You just start to have this deeper understanding of your life and how everything is unfolding around you. And it's typically amongst all of this that you have no doubt in your mind, Aries, that life is a kind of game and that you can most definitely be on the winning side of this. You just need to readjust your focus and gain perspective over the playing board. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Wow. Hangman. Pisces energy at the solar plexus. The Hangman is one of the cards of perspective. It's like there you are, hanging upside down, looking at all these individuals. This can be the playing board. And you're like, oh, wait a second. Maybe if I look at it hanging upside down, that's kind of like this universal vantage point. Oh, I see now. None of this is real. It's all a game. This is all a test. Perspective makes it much easier to let go, forgive, and accept. This is why I quite often say in my readings that when you feel stuck in life, when you feel like you don't know which way to go, find yourself in silence just for a short moment and think about yourself looking at yourself through the eyes of the universe, through the eyes of God, from an outside perspective and vantage point. Now, this is a life-changing tool that all of us can utilize when we're feeling stuck in our life. I certainly use this all the time. And 100% of the time, it gives me what I need to get myself unstuck from whatever situation I may be in. Because it's when you have this perspective shift that not only are you looking at your life through the eyes of God, your spirit team, the universe, the divine, but you start to travel inward. It has a way of recalibrating your intuition, your higher guidance, which is really your download folder. When you have that calibration, this is when you start receiving guidance on how to move. So simply put, this is you feeling stuck in a certain area of your life, but accessing your way out by going inward and gaining perspective over your current set of circumstances. Whenever I do this, I feel this boost of adrenaline. It's one of those I get it now moments where you spring up and you just seem to have this second wind that comes through. But when you strip away all of the layers and all of the details of what I'm trying to explain to you, Aries, it's simply you getting back to the roots and to your connection with Source, which is where you came from. You're simply checking in with home base. And that's something that we all forget to do because we are living inside of this game. When you can start to truly recalibrate your mind to think about life in this capacity here that we're suggesting for you, Aries, you can begin to have a lot of fun with it. The fear starts to melt away. The worry starts to dissipate over time. You start to gain control over sectors of your life that felt out of control. Everything just seemingly starts to smooth out and go in your favor. You begin to flow with life. Flowing with life is another way of speaking about evolution. You see, the universe is going to evolve whether we like it or not, and the universe is going to flow with or without us, just like a river. You can either jump in and hang on for the ride, or you can paddle upstream, create resistance for yourself, and face the harsh reality that you'll most likely capsize. But when you start to understand how the universe is flowing and how it's working in your life, you cannot be stopped, Aries. The universe is here for you. The divine is here around the clock trying to wake all of us up to this simple fact. With or without us, evolution will keep on unfolding. But if you want to gain absolute power and control in your own reality, it is highly recommended that you grab your surfboard and you start riding the crest of that wave, because that's where all the fun is had. What do we have at the heart, please? Hermit, Virgo energy, right there at the heart. And whenever I see this card, it looks like the Hermit is standing on top of the globe, right? Like there's the North Pole. And there's that snake that's trying to slither its way underneath your robe. But you see it, right? The darkness has been illuminated to you, but this was accessed by your inner guidance, and you going within for clarity follows everything I just said beautifully. In fact, we couldn't have asked for a better card to come out. Aries, your power in this season is found by the connection and the relationship that you keep with yourself, God, the divine, your spirit team, and source energy, which are all essentially one and the same. It's a force that's working to help you align with your purpose as a means to fulfill your destiny. We just use different ways of accessing each level of that force. So there may be times when you call on your spirit team. There may be times when you call on God. There may be times when you call on the divine as a whole to protect you. And there may be times when you have that deeper knowing that the messages, the downloads you are receiving are coming directly from source. I perceive all of it as coming from a kind of mothership. However, I feel that all of those examples I gave are all working for the source. I see source as the Big Bang, right? It's kind of like the source of light that we all come from. But whatever the case here, Aries, there's this very strong connectivity that you're being guided to nurture if you haven't already began, because this is going to allow for you to truly be on top of your game in this next season of your life. The Hermit is Virgo energy. There's a kind of organization that I feel is taking place in regards to you and your responsibility to your relationship with your higher self and spirit. If you're ever feeling lonely, if you're ever feeling fearful, you need to connect. You need to check in with your spirit team that's on call at all times. You know, this reality that we live in, this matrix, this game that we're all playing, wants so badly for you to lose that connection. Wants you to think that it's a kind of fantasy. See, the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world that he did not exist. But the flip side to that is, if you don't believe that the devil exists and that there's a force in this universe that is working against you to complete your mission in this life cycle, then it suggests that this same force doesn't want you to believe that God also exists. See, it's interesting because the devil is okay with you thinking that he doesn't exist, because he knows that if he can convince you that he doesn't exist, the likelihood that you will give up faith in God is very strong. And when you give up faith in God, even if you think the devil doesn't exist, the devil's got you. The devil's whole purpose is to strip us of our faith and our hope. However, nothing can destroy hope. There's nothing more powerful. But you can relinquish it by allowing outside entities to convince you that the source of your faith, which leads to hope, doesn't exist. What do we have at the throat, please? And look who decided to show up to the party, Aries. The devil, Capricorn energy. He must have heard us say his name right there at the throat. These two individuals are shackled to the devil, and there they are, looking out over legions of demons. But it's almost as if they're completely asleep to the fact that the devil is holding them captive. And as we can see here, they have devil's tails. It goes along perfectly with everything I'm saying here, right? The devil convincing you he doesn't exist, which leads you to question the existence of God, which causes you to lack faith, which results in destroying your hope. However, there's an immediate sort of relinquishing that takes place without you even knowing it. But this is you picking a side. See, the devil knows that if he can pull off this trick, which is his greatest trick, you're his. I feel that this is something that you're beginning to understand now, Aries, that there is no sitting this out. In this day and age, you're either on one team or the other, which all goes back to this hangman and this hermit. You understand this now. This is why you're nurturing this connection with the divine. This is why you're starting to see massive growth in your life, or you're about to. It just really depends what part of this journey you're on. Some of you are just beginning, and some of you are well developed down this path. But wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be at this very moment in time. You're breaking free of an idea of what people had for you, which allows hope to flood back through into your life. This is you detaching Six of Swords at the foundation and reclaiming your power. Some of you are leaving some really toxic, abusive situations, whether they're family related, whether they're work environments, exes, toxic friends. For quite a lot of you, it could be a combination of those things. Again, there's a monumental evolution taking place in your life, which is interesting because it all comes back to exactly that, evolution. What do we have at the third eye? Wow. Ten of Swords. Gemini energy at the third eye. Death. Scorpio energy at the crown. Gaining perspective. Having the spiritual illumination take place. You bringing light to the darkness, devil at the throat. You see the truth. You have gained understanding that the devil is very real. It's all around us. And with this, you have strengthened your faith in the divine, thus bringing forward several endings in your life, which are cause for the Six of Swords at the foundation. And as you can see, there's this witchy-looking character in the distance. It's like that's the devil in your life. You know, there are many devils in this world. The devil is an energy. The devil is a mindset. The devil is a collection of behavioral patterns. There's many different levels to it. But make no mistake, the devil has been showing up in your life, Aries, in one of those areas that I mentioned. Friends, exes, family members, career, whatever it is. This is you getting the memo, bringing the ending. Right there at the third eye, which is all related to how you perceive your environment. It's all about your vision. It's like the rose-colored glasses have been removed, which speaks about a kind of filter being dissolved over how you perceive life, reality. You're able to see the playing board. Thus leading to a complete rebirth, a complete transformation to who you are and the way you perceive reality. Death at the crown. Now, this death isn't literal. This death speaks in metaphor. It's death to the old and a birthing of the new. And there's this character standing in front of you here, dressed as the Pope. Here you are transforming, right? Bringing a death to everything that's ever held you back. This individual here is saying to you, Aries, please, can we have a conversation? But see how they're dressed as the Pope, right? It's giving the energy of somebody who's wearing a mask, somebody who's not who they say they are, right? It's the devil in your life. It's the darkness dressed as the light. Be cautious of these kinds of energies, Aries, because what I've learned on my path is that we're always most vulnerable in the 11th hour before transformation. There's an anxiousness that floods over us. We start to feel insecure and unsure about the path we're preparing to transform onto. These energies know that. So this is when they'll come through and promise you the world, or however it resonates for you, as a means to try and re-engage you in the same karmic cycle that you were preparing to leave. But what I have personally found is when I look back over my life, and I fell for this years and years ago, it's like you lose chunks of time. It's like you can snap your fingers and time flashes and you're 6 months or a year back into that karmic cycle. You just have this kind of fading memory of a time when you were preparing to transform and leave the cycle. It's like a spell. It's terrifying when I think about it now. So by God, Aries, do not give any of these energies an audience. I don't care how angelic they may show up to you. You just don't know what slithering demon lurks beneath, because you can't defeat them. Their purpose is to stop you, and the only way you can overcome them is by removing yourself, marching forward into mission, and allow for the divine, which triggers a judgment into these energies' lives as you step into mission. You have to remember, you stepping into mission, getting on your path, is them failing theirs. It's as simple as that. You could strip away all the depth to this message here. But if you just hold on to that one very basic example, that you stepping into your mission that the divine gave to you before you were even incarnated into this life cycle, is them failing their mission that was assigned to them by the underworld. That's all you need. And if you're questioning what I'm saying, I challenge you. Give it a try. See how they react, Aries. Because what you're going to see is something that completely blows your mind. It is wild when you start to see the devils that have been working in your life react to the success of you stepping into alignment with your purpose and your mission. It drives these individuals to the edge of sanity. It's like the devil takes a hold of them in that moment and tortures them for failing their mission. The divine brings judgment into their lives to try and get them to repent for their sins. These individuals go to a kind of in-between, neither dark nor light. It's a kind of, for the sake of example, it's kind of like a purgatory. No one really claims them. The devil doesn't want them. The divine needs them to repent and change before they can be of any use. So there's work that they need to put in. I would go as far as saying that existing in that in-between, existing in the nothing, is worse than anything else. Existing in the nothing brings with it a kind of truth that they don't want to accept, that they're literally nothing. They're not accepted by the darkness, and they're not accepted by the light. It's like falling through a black hole into an empty void for all eternity, faced with the reality of how you've lived your life up until that point. What do we have at the foundation, please? Three of Wands, Aries energy at the foundation. Vul. This is an energy of delays, a lot of obstacles and setbacks that were placed on your path by this individual or these individuals. It's all here. But it's you now seeing this clearly because you have success as evidence. Well, I can succeed over here when I don't have any of these individuals around me, or I seemingly don't have success when I have this person, that person, and the other around me. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out, which leads you to seek a deeper understanding. See, there's a lot of messages in this reading about seeking deeper understandings about how the universe works and how energy works. And I feel that this reading is about us dissecting all of the resistance that's been playing out in your life, Aries. And as you're dissecting this and you're making changes, you're seeing tremendous growth all around you, which strengthens your faith in God. What do we have the sacral, please? Ten of Wands, Sag energy at the sacral. I just heard passion in faith, and I feel that really speaks about where you're at right now, Aries. You're starting to understand that the more time and focus you put into your faith, the more powerful you become, the more in control over your reality you become, the more successful in multiple areas of your life you become. There's an energy here of you reevaluating all these different sectors and having a complete rehaul surrounding how you're showing up for yourself and on your particular timeline. This is one of those energies where people have always seen you one way, and then all of a sudden you bust back out onto the scene and your transformation is hard to even grasp. It's as if these individuals have seen a miracle take place right before their eyes. This is one of those transformations where people themselves are reevaluating life, starting to realize that maybe they didn't know as much as they thought they did, Or quite possibly, they're starting to realize that maybe they were too arrogant in how they were showing up in your life. But you see, Aries, it's situations like these where the divine loves to use you as an example. Put yourself in a position. Make yourself available to God. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Oh, wow. Look where that card landed. Death, Lucifer. Right there at the Devil and Ten of Swords in reverse. Now, I read these cards as reversals, despite how they come out of the deck, because these are negative polarities. But we can see very clearly that that reverse energy was being emphasized. Death in reverse, right there between the Devil and the Ten of Swords. You know, Aries, there was a message that I was getting before this reading, and I told myself that I wouldn't speak on it unless the cards showed me so. And the cards have not only shown me so, but they have done it in a very pronounced way. One of the messages I have, and I even wrote it down, is the death angel is on their head for the way they've been living their life. We have 2 death cards. We have a Ten of Swords and a Devil. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be literal, all right? However, it's one of these kinds of endings where that's what they'll wish for. This is the result of a very specific way that these individuals have been living their life. I mentioned that the devil is a mindset. Hell is a mindset. It's accessed through behavioral patterns that fall under one of the 7 deadly sins. Now, this is very real. People live their life in accordance with those specific behavioral patterns. And this is the end result. Now, just to reiterate the way this card fell out. Devil, death, Ten of Swords, death. The devil has them now. See, this is a kind of ending that you have to live through. They don't get out that easy. The suffering for what they've done is a part of the lesson they need to learn. See, for a lot of these individuals, the devil allowed them to use your light to manifest off of. So them merely losing everything they gained, and it's going to be all materially, right? Clout, fame, money. There's nothing of any substance there. So them losing all those things is just as bad as literal death for them, right? Which really speaks on the kind of person you're dealing with here. They're going to have to be faced with the consequences of their actions, and their entire reality is going to reflect it. And they are also going to have to watch as you rise. God will prepare a table right there in front of them so they can be faced with the reality of the absolute diabolical horrors and darkness that they brought into your life. It's an energy of deep depression, mental anxiety. It's an energy of a kind of possession taking hold from within. And to repeat what I said earlier, it drives them to the edge of insanity. What do we have at the heart, please? Oh, wow. 3 of Cups, Gusion, jealousy. I just heard very clearly, for some of you, this could even be a sibling as well. This person's your polar opposite. Sadly, a lot of these people aren't going to learn their lesson. In fact, a lot of this energy here has already been unfolding in their life. But the devil has put some kind of blinders on them to where they can't see it. I just heard it's business as usual. See, when this death angel gets on people's heads, there's still chances there. You're going to lose a whole bunch of things. The whole purpose of this is to get you to repent and transform. But if that doesn't work and you just still keeping on, then there's no telling what can happen at any moment, because this is the path that these people have chosen. And I was getting a lot of messages the past couple days leading up to this reading, Aries, that were quite serious. And, I'm picking up on people doing drugs, bad alcoholics, putting themselves in situations where they get hurt. There was all sorts of craziness for this reading. I like to keep these messages useful. I don't think it's always useful to know what's going to happen to your enemies. In some cases, it is, but only when you need to know that the divine is looking out for you. I think all of the little details surrounding what happens to them is probably none of our business. What is important is to make sure that you're receiving a message of hope and the knowing that the divine is working in your favor and clearing your path, and that God is taking this very seriously. I just heard, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. I think that says it all, Aries. And then we have Leia, which is the King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Victory. Aries, you're going to rise in the knowing that the divine is protecting you and fighting your battles for you. You're going to edge closer and closer to that vision, and you're going to take your rightful seat at the throne that's been prepared for you in this life cycle. That speaks metaphorically about you being in your allocated position, Aries. This is what this is all about. This is you positioning yourself so the divine can access you as a means to be used as a vessel to complete your mission and fulfill your destiny. It's right underneath that hermit. I just heard sword of truth, sword of spirit. And I feel that this speaks about your connection with the divine and how you use it in your waking life. The downloads, the truth, the guidance you receive, you use as a kind of mental sword to cut through the illusions inside your waking life. What do we have at the throat, please? Knight of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy at the throat. Ha'u'ia, God the good in himself. Protection. Prevents discovery of secret crimes. Saves exiles. So what this speaks about, prevents discovery of secret crimes. It's interesting phrasing, but whenever I read that, it speaks to me about the divine stopping your enemies in their tracks before they're able to attack you or re-engage you in the karmic cycle. So protection, right? And here you are, you have the shield of the divine on you. So you've now accepted your place at your throne, so to speak, right? Metaphorically speaking. You're in mission, you're in purpose, and you have this cloak of protection that comes around you, which stops the enemy from coming against you before they even have the opportunity to begin. The way this can show up, Aries, is by creating obstacles on individuals' paths so they can't even access you. They can't make it to you, right? All of a sudden, they're just having different towers left and right in their life. They're too distracted to even come after you. This is what I'm getting here. And it's right underneath that devil. Protection from the devil. What do we have at the third eye, please? We're going to go ahead and take both of these. The world. Dimabia. Hangman, again. Nishael. God, the source of wisdom. Fountain of wisdom. Gives success in all ventures. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius energy with this world. This is a completion here, right underneath this Ten of Swords. Completion, completion, transformation. It's all here. These are three of the cards of completion. Not to mention, they're all next to this devil. It's like the devil has been illuminated in your life. It's like, I see you, devil. See, you have that lantern there. I'm just seeing this pitch black room, and you turn on a lamp, Aries, and you flash it in the corner, and you just see this demon in the corner you didn't even know was there. And it just scatters, it scurries away. You've illuminated the devil in your life, and you've plucked it out. And moving forward, you're beginning to integrate everything that you've gone through as wisdom, right? Doesn't it look like this person's teaching? Like, yes, I went through this with these crazy devils, but now I have this wisdom and this discernment. I'm going to teach all of you, right? There's a couple of indications here that there's something going on with the world, right? So this could just be you teaching or presenting something to the world, big or small, whatever it is. It's just all a part of your purpose. You got your wings, right? And then Hangman, Nishael, Pisces energy to close out the reading. The only God Desire for knowledge protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. And immediately I'm thinking about what I said regarding the devil, right? Trying to trick you into making you think that he doesn't exist, which naturally, most people, if they believe that, then they would probably say, oh, no, God and the devil don't exist, right? But then right here, we're seeing clearly the only God, right? God, the only God. You're starting to understand now that by way of your connection that you've nurtured, that there is most certainly a God. There's divine source energy. There's a spirit team around you, working for you around the clock. And you are now starting to see the results of this materialize and unfold in your life because you have been following the higher guidance to do so. And again, protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits, reiterating just how much protection you have as you step into this new timeline, Aries. This is a powerful spread here, and I certainly hope that I was able to deliver some messages that you can use in this new beginning. Aries, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Aries. Take care.